What's going on, Night Owls? Welcome to the pulse-pounding universe of life, death, and dope boys. We're delving into the gritty world of crime dramas and the masterminds who run the game. Our talks are loaded with entertainment and humor, serving up an experience you won't forget. But listen up, because we're laying it all out, spoilers and all. So if you can't handle the truth, you've been warned. Now buckle up, because things are about to get real deep. Combo's in for a deadly surprise, and Jesse's not strapped to deal with it. But James got the remedy, leading our boys straight into the storm. Over on the other side of town, Walt's pulling some serious strings, chasing that sweet $1 million dream. But there's a fat cat holding the purse strings, and Walt's gotta spit his game to seal the deal. Hold tight, cause the pace is picking up, and Indy and Justin are about to break it all down for you. This is Life, Death, and Dope Boys, Labor Pains, and Crystal Gaze. Rest in peace, Wesley Shepard.
Something's got to
I got robbed.
Yeah.
And now you want me to push into somebody else's territory?
Something's got to change.
I got robbed in our territory.
Yeah. You can't show up like, I'm sorry I missed the baby being born, but we've got $1 million now.
We're millionaires. We're millionaires. The whole 50-50 split thing, yo, that's got to be out the window. It's time to renegotiate. And there was somebody at the counter first, and Gus like slides in like, nah, I'm taking your order. I'm taking your order, homeboy. What could you possibly be here for?
I'm so sorry.
Life, Death, and Dope Boys, welcome to the show. I'm Indy, joined by Justin.
What up? How's it going?
Please be prepared for spoilers for the entirety of Breaking Bad, especially today. Yeah, we're going to have
a lot of shit happens in this episode.
Particularly spoilery episode today.
Mm-hmm.
So if you haven't finished Breaking Bad and you are somehow watching this video and you hate spoilers, then the YouTube algorithm hates you. Like,
yeah, I don't know how you even got to our video.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah.
We're about to tell you some shit that you did not want to see.
We just watched episode 11 of season 2. It's called Mandala. A lot of interesting developments, like a lot of them.
Yeah. First appearance of good characters, final appearance of other characters.
Oh, yeah.
Cringiest moment in the series, arguably.
Arguably, yes. I'd like to talk about that, because there's another cringy moment we watched last week that, like...
Yeah, this is just a cringy season.
Yeah, for real.
A lot of gross stuff happens. Ugh.
Either way, we got to talk about it.
Unfortunately.
So we may as well... make the most of it. This episode was written by George Mastras.
I think that's how you pronounce it. Sounds
probably. Right. He actually wrote some of my favorite episodes.
Yeah, same.
Crazy Handful of Nothing.
It's a solid one.
That's a solid one.
Mm-hmm.
Grilled, which is one of my favorites. It's the last time you see Tuco. Crazy Handful of Nothing is the first time you see Tuco, so that's an interesting little back and forth there.
Yeah. He got to introduce and kill the character. Two of the best episodes from, I guess, season 1 and the beginning of season 2.
Yeah. He did some writing for The Boys, too.
That's cool.
Probably got some other jobs around, but those are like the most notable ones that...
Most recent, at least.
I was able to find, yeah. Directed by Adam Bernstein, who isn't a small-time name when it comes to Breaking Bad or directing in general.
Yeah, he's done a lot.
Especially like in the crime drama genre. That's a phrase that I have to say slowly and broken apart.
Crime drama genre.
I can't try and say that fast. I'm not even going to try. In the crime
crime drama genre.
He's done some writing for Oz, Homicide: Life on the Streets.
Mm-hmm.
But his first show directing was actually The Adventures of Pete and Pete.
Classic.
Way throwback. Way throwback. He directed like hella music videos too.
Really?
From like the late 80s and early 90s. Yeah, and then for Breaking Bad, he directed Cats in the Bag, The Bags in the River.
Good episodes.
And Box Cutter, among others.
Crazy ass episode.
Yeah. But anyway, you know, I got some very strong opinions to express this episode.
You got some things to get off your chest?
Yes, absolutely. So let's go ahead and get into it.
All right.
Life, Death, and Dope Boys. Episode 18. Labor Pains and the Crystal Games.
So we open up with Combo, just chilling, posted up on the block hustling. A car pulls up with two rival gang members inside, eyeballing Combo without saying a word. Combo ain't sweating it. He lifts his shirt, revealing the pistol in his waistband. The rivals peep the iron and post up at an intersection, watching him. Homie's feeling the heat, so he calls for backup, and this little kid on a bike starts circling him like a vulture. Soon as the rivals honk the horn, the young gun pulls out a piece and pops Combo in the chest. Combo tries to bounce, but only makes it to the middle of the street before getting lit up.
Rest in peace combination.
Christian Ortega. Which we never hear his actual name, I don't think, in the whole series.
No, that's just some shit you pulled off of IMDb.
Straight up.
Nice.
I looked up his real name. I'm like, he dies. I have to know his name.
We ever hear his real name.
Christian Ortega?
No.
Oh, Combo.
Yeah.
Boy, is named after pizza snacks. I learned that the actor who played Combo, Rodney Rush, he didn't know that his character was getting ready to die in this episode.
Damn. What a surprise way to find out you're getting fired.
Yeah.
That's
retired. Not necessarily fired. Yeah, he was like the last one to get the script on the episode or something. And the story that I heard or read was that he like passed Bryan Cranston on the set or something, and Cranston said something to him like, well, if you're gonna go, then that's the way to do it. And he's like, what? Like he hadn't even read the script yet.
Damn.
So yeah.
Awkward.
Yeah.
I'd be upset. Like, wouldn't you be upset? Like you guys couldn't let me know.
I would definitely be annoyed that I wasn't informed that my character is being retired.
Right.
But, obviously he kept a good relationship with the showrunners. They did bring him back for that flashback scene with him and Jesse when they hit the strip club with Walt's money before they went and bought the RV. Mm-hmm. So, clearly he kept it professional.
Yeah.
He probably went home and complained to some of his friends.
I would.
His girlfriend, if he had one. Because, yeah, I would definitely say something to them, but I don't know if he ever got any more acting roles, though, after that.
I don't think I've ever seen him in anything else. We'd have to look.
Nah.
I've seen The Badger and Criminal Minds and stuff. I don't know if I've seen Skinny Pete in anything else. Top of my head.
Is this the way to go out, though? Like, is this a good way to go? Was Bryan Cranston right?
No. What? No.
Does he just mean, like, getting shot? Like...
some gangster shit? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately you learn that this is a gang initiation for the kid. Mm-hmm. Andrea's cousin or her brother?
Her brother.
So, I mean, that's something that you learn later, but yeah, this is a kind of crappy way to go.
I blame everyone around poor Combo.
Why do you say that?
All of his friends and peers.
You mean in particular because of him being there or because he didn't have any help?
Yeah.
I feel like by
all of
now,
the above.
I feel like by now their operation should have been bigger anyway. Especially with them, with Walt talking about expanding into territories that wasn't their own. Another thing that he brought up in that conversation was your guys should have like sub dealers under them. Mm-hmm. Like it's time to not just move into new territories, but also expand your operation. Mm-hmm. There's no way I would have sent my own dudes into hostile territory.
Yeah, I agree. Shit y'all don't know nothing about. You haven't seen Walter scoping these neighborhoods or anything.
Yeah. You don't know nothing about these blocks or the people who run them. Like, you gotta be smarter than that. Especially after
what happened with Badger?
Yeah. And what happened with Skinny Pete.
Oh yeah, my goodness.
Cause like Jesse's whole deal about that was that this is the cost of business. Like this is just breakage. You're gonna have some breakage. Mm-hmm. So isn't that what this would be?
It's like Walter is playing fantasy football, but he doesn't watch any games.
Yeah.
He's just like reading analytic reports and just going off of that.
Yeah. Dang it. One of my players just got injured. Dang it.
Yeah, I guess we got to trade him off, put him on injury reserve. Oh, well.
I do think this is like one of the most pivotal, if not the most. In fact, I think it's probably the most important, the most pivotal death in the entire series.
That's a take.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of important characters who die, but this is like the one death that changes everything, right? Like it it changes Jesse. It has a huge effect on him emotionally, like the type of character decisions that he starts to make. Like, he loses 2 of his best friends in like the same week. Combo is the first one, especially since Jesse feels like this is partially at least his fault.
Jesus, when you put it that way, what a terrible week for Jesse. Combo dies and then Jane's dead like
a week later.
Yeah, tops a week later.
Tops. Yeah. However long that
Yeesh.
next episode takes, that's...
Yeah, because fuck, man. The next episode starts with Jesse waking up and realizing he's been robbed.
Yeah. And by the end of the next episode...
Jane's dead.
Yeah.
So that's like
2 episodes, back to back. Jesse
Combo
loses.
dies, and then 4-5 days later, Jane dies.
It's crazy.
No wonder he goes to rehab. I would too. Fuck
Right.
this. I gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
God damn.
And then on top of that, Combo's death makes Pete quit. So that's why they have no distribution left. Once they have no distribution, that's when they go to Saul, and Saul connects them with Gus in this episode.
I would argue my only counterpoint would be Mike. I feel like Mike is a way more important death for all of the same reasons you just said, but more.
So wait, after Mike, what would be the effects? Like, does Mike's death really have that big of an effect
On Jesse? Yes.
If Mike had
on
just...
Walt's operation, yes.
How?
I guess he didn't have to kill Mike.
He didn't have to kill Mike. He
Mike.
literally says that
Yeah.
after he kills
Like,
him.
oh yeah, I forgot.
I didn't have to kill you. I could have just asked Lydia. And Mike was already out. He had already been bought out by the time he dies. Walt just wants those names. As far as I feel like without Mike dying, the series could have continued on its exact same path.
Yeah, I guess you're right there. That's a good point. Man.
Like, Combo's death changes everything.
More than Gus's death. Gus's death changes a lot too.
Yeah.
Gail's death changes a lot. But I see what you mean.
Yeah, this changes the show. Like, it sends the show in a whole different direction.
Mm-hmm.
Like, these 2 dudes who were a part of his death, like, they're a part of... They're not, like, a part of the whole next season. But, the saga continues with Jesse trying to get his revenge and all that kind of stuff. Oh, yeah,
for sure.
And then Walt kills them in the season finale. What else? There's just a ton of fallout from Combo dying.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Gus setting up that meeting. It's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Combo is an important death. Maybe he's not an important character. Maybe he's not the most important character who dies. But his death,
matters.
It matters.
Yeah, all right. I can see that.
So, I mean, Combo, the actor, he should feel honored to have that his death
carried the show on for 4 more seasons.
They're pretty good at cause and effect, though. They like this. They do a good job of setting things up in this show. But then there are a lot of other things that's I don't know what this. Where's the payoff for this? What?
Like what?
The airplane crash that we talked about in the last episode. It's like Combo's death had more of an effect than the airplane crash.
I agree. The airplane crash was definitely an ass pull. Walt and Skylar roll up to the doctor's office, meeting with Dr. Del Cavoli and the thoracic surgeon. Surgeon dude drops the bomb, telling Walt he's gotta get an aggressive lobectomy to snatch out the lung tumor. It's a risky move, but Walt's staring at the alternative, letting that cancer spread. Dude agrees to the surgery, even with the $200,000 price tag.
Why do you think he takes the surgery? Why do you think he's so gung-ho now? Even without, talking to Skylar,
He sees another avenue for him to sell meth. He sees something else that can only be fixed by him selling crystal meth. He jumps at the opportunity. He has a reason to sell crystal meth now. He's got to get this operation. He's got to raise money for the operation. Perfect.
So you think, he's been wanting to... He still wants to make meth. He still wants to sell meth.
He just doesn't have an excuse.
He doesn't have a... Yeah, excuse. Because he has a reason. He's doing it because he likes it.
Mm-hmm.
He just doesn't have an excuse.
Mm-hmm. I think they gave him an opportunity. Oh, I need to make $200,000?
Nice.
Perfect.
And Skylar's there like, how the hell are we gonna pay
Exactly.
$200,000? He's like, don't worry about it, I got it.
Exactly.
You can't use the Elliot excuse anymore because the Schwartzes are completely, they're broke.
They're broke.
According
Yeah.
to Walt. So like, how do how is he even planning on explaining this? And this is even a point of frustration for him later that he can't like really explain
This one off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I think I agree with that. I think that he because he was just ready to die.
Yeah.
In the last
2 episodes ago, he was like, oh. No, he sees an opportunity to sell some more meth. And that's it.
Yeah, he completely flips. Because season 1, he's like not on going through like chemotherapy because of the massive cost that it's going to be to his family.
Mm-hmm.
So for him to all of a sudden be like, yes, let's take it. Even Dr. Del Cavoli is like, yo, like,
are you
maybe
sure?
you should talk to your wife about this. We're going to leave the room.
No. I already know how I'm going to make that $200,000. It's fine.
He's starting to call people right now. Hold up. Yeah. I know exactly how this is going to happen. What you don't know is that Combo's dead.
I don't think he cares. It wouldn't matter. I don't think it matters to him whatsoever.
He just wants to cook meth.
Yeah.
He's trying to make some money. I think he also knows that he's like sitting on that 38 pounds of crystal still. He knows that once he moves that, like he already has, I don't know. They don't really have the money. They just have the
product.
The product.
And they can't sell it.
So
they could sell it just slower than they'd like. They didn't have to get combo shot. They were selling meth in their own area. They didn't have to branch off in other people's territory.
No, yeah, they were getting it done. It just wasn't fast enough for Walt.
Mm-hmm.
Because he felt like probably I'm going to die before I make the $1 million that I'm supposed to make off of this meth. Because what he does in the RV is he does the calculations in his head as to like how much money this meth that we just cooked with this whole P2P gallon is worth. And it came out to $1.2 million.
I could see it being very frustrating to have a product that you know is worth an amount of money if you could just find somebody to buy it for you. And you can't find anybody to buy it.
Not even that you have to convince someone to buy it. Just like literally anyone, like they're going to see it and they're going to buy it.
Yeah, right.
It's like having the cure for cancer. It's like, look, just connect me with someone who buys cancer cures. Find me a pharmaceutical company and I'll make $1 million.
Buy it for $1 million and then sell it for like $300 billion.
Fast forward, Jesse hits up Walt about Combo's death. But Walt, man, he don't even remember who Combo was. Jesse's disgusted, hangs up on him like, what the hell, man? Over at Jesse's spot, Skinny Pete's tripping. He's done with Walt's meth game, talking about how they lost their street cred since everyone knows Jesse ain't the one who took out Spooge.
I'm surprised that gave him enough street cred to really live off of, like,
in the first place.
Yeah.
I don't even know that it really did. I mean, the only thing that it showed us was that Badger, Skinny Pete, and Combo were kind of like shook at him. Like they weren't really like, yeah, they were kind of scared. Like Badger had that one time when like, what happened? Oh, they were scared to tell him that
Pete got robbed.
Yeah. It was like, yeah, because no. They were scared to tell him something. Was it that Pete got robbed?
I think so. Because they were short.
No, that Badger got arrested. Because he's like, why didn't you tell me? And he was like, I was scared to tell you. Like,
did Badger get arrested before Pete got robbed, I thought?
No, that was after. Because Pete got robbed, and that's why he broke into their house and crushed dude's head with an ATM. So they weren't scared of him to call him then.
I don't know.
But they were scared of him to call him on the Badger situation.
They might have just been scared of him. I feel like Badger happened first.
No, Badger didn't happen first. Pete definitely happened first because Badger happened in the Better Call Saul episode, which was episode 8.
I'm just straight up going off of my memory of the post history anyway, and I can't think of a single post that I've made of Badger sitting on that bench. So you've got to be right.
Yeah. That's true. That's crazy. It's one way to keep track of the series. Walt has a very non-reaction to the news that Combo got killed.
It's so dehumanizing.
Right? Which one was that?
Like, damn, Walter.
It's like, even if you feel that way, all right, Walt didn't have to deal with Jesse's friends all like that. Jesse was the one in charge of distribution, so he's the one who was in charge of handling his crew. Walt met them that one time in the museum. And it's not like he did roll call or anything like that. So, yeah, I understand. Walt doesn't know these people. He can't remember which one is Combo.
That's a very piss poor excuse.
I'm not saying it's an excuse for his reaction, because that's still shitty.
You can at least feign empathy.
Yeah, you can say, like, sorry to hear that,
Psychopath.
You know that his 3 best friends are the ones moving meth for him. So to hear any of them died would have to be like, damn, man, I'm sorry.
You saw how goddamn Jesse reacted to Badger just getting arrested.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Walt wanted to leave him in jail. No,
Walt wanted to have him killed. Walt wanted to have him killed. Like, Jesus.
Damn, man. Ugh. Yeah, Walt's not one of Jesse's friends, man.
I didn't realize either that Jesse had the meth and was hiding it. That could have been a breaking point too, right there. Jesse could have just been like, "All right, that's how you feel." Click, and sold the meth himself and disappeared.
Now that wasn't going to happen.
Could have.
Jesse would have to be pretty headstrong to make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
He spends the rest of this episode just depressed as fuck. Like, he's not even the right mindset. Like, he takes it very personally.
Mm-hmm. When
Walt says, which one is that? Like, he's like in his feelings already. He's not going to be like, fine, he's not that kind of guy. Not that kind of guy.
I'm going to bounce with all 38 pounds of meth right now, Walter. What are you going to do about it? Except for die of cancer.
Ooh. I don't know, man. Walt's a dangerous man. Disappearing with his 38 pounds of meth, especially with him knowing he just agreed to a $200,000 surgery, he's going to come after you.
That's true.
There's only so far that Jesse can go. But yeah, Walt's pretty messed up for that.
What if Jesse went to Saul behind Walt's back and brokered his own deal to sell the meth and then disappeared?
I don't know if
Jesse could have used Saul to get in contact with the vacuum man to get himself a new name and get out.
The Saul's not going to help Jesse screw Walt over. First of all, like,
you probably try to talk him out of it because that's a bad idea.
Yeah. It's a bad idea.
Yeah.
Saul is the sensible one.
Strangely enough. Yeah, that's true.
He's the only one who's not like, he doesn't make his decision based on like emotions or desperation, at least in Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Or it's not yet. I mean, even at the end of Breaking Bad, when he's like, I'm getting a new identification and I'm moving to, Maine or wherever. I can't. Well, that's where Walt goes. I can't remember where Walt goes. But Saul's like, it's time to cut your losses and get out of here.
I think
that's
Saul's
what I'm
in
going to do.
Nebraska?
I think it is Nebraska. He moves to Nebraska. But hey, yeah, Jesse he'd have no co-conspirators except maybe Jane. Pete's out.
Yeah, Pete is out. He didn't, all this guilt tripping that he did to Jesse too. Why do we have to move into somebody else's territory, man? This was bound to happen. Shut up, Pete.
But he's right.
Yeah.
He's right.
Still, read the room.
Nah, man.
I guess he was Combo's friend too.
Yeah, exactly. Bro, I would cuss you out too, man. I would be pissed.
If we got one of our friends killed trying to sell drugs.
Yeah.
Oopsie daisy.
But yeah, clearly the streets knew that he didn't kill Spooge.
I don't think even if he had killed Spooge, that wouldn't have saved Combo from being murdered.
Yeah, because these people, I mean,
these are heavy hitters. They just don't realize
crush the dude's head with an ATM. How is that even? Man, yeah, we can't. He's pushing into our territory. What do we do? I don't know, man. He crushed the dude's head with an ATM.
No, it's just, I guess, the reputation of he's willing to kill someone who crosses him.
But so is everyone else.
Right.
Except for, Beef Homie from the end of the last episode. He definitely wasn't about it.
Yeah. But I mean, like, that gets back to Gus or Gus's people. It's like, oh, all right, well, just go kill him.
Because it would.
Yeah.
That's who they're messing with. Like,
I guess we have to kill this dude.
The two dudes turn out to be like Gus's
working for
employees.
Gus's dudes.
Yeah. And it's just like, like if you start a war with them,
it's curtains.
It's curtains. These people don't care about your crushing a dude's head with the, oh, you're willing to kill someone?
Mhm.
Whatever.
So Gus is definitely willing to kill someone too. And obviously so are his foot soldiers.
Yes. Yeah, obviously. They're able to get a kid to do it.
Walt and Jesse slide into Saul's joint and it's straight up chaos. They're pointing fingers and Saul's trying to keep order. After Walt spills the beans about the meth stash, Saul hits him with the truth. They suck at moving meth. But he's got to connect. A low-profile dude ready to cop their whole stash in one go.
So Saul is like summing up their operation. Basically like, yo, like you guys are terrible. And if you think about it, they've stumbled through being meth dealers for the entire series so far.
Yeah, it's been a real bumbling effort for them.
That's a really good way to put it. A real bumbling effort, because they have gotten their deals done, but like sloppily.
You know what I don't get, and what surprises me, is that at no point do Badger, Skinny Pete, or Combo ever contribute their opinions, since they're the ones getting robbed, shot at, and arrested.
Well, Jesse crushed a dude's head with an ATM.
But Jesse didn't crush a dude's head with an ATM. And even still, man, bro, you crush a dude's head with an ATM.
I know Jesse's not going to kill me.
Yeah. Like, bro, we're the ones out here getting shot at and shit. Like, something's got to give.
I got robbed.
Yeah.
And now you want me to push into somebody else's territory?
Something's got to change.
I got robbed in our territory.
Yeah.
What the hell? Nah, Jesse, I'm sorry. I can't do that. You're going to have to find somebody else. Because, like,
getting out, fine. All right, you're trying to convince me we're on the precipice of making a bunch of money. Mm-hmm. Cool. Some shit's got to change.
Yeah. What's the use of a bunch of money if I'm in prison?
Yeah. Combo's dead.
Because real talk, like, Badger should be in prison right now. He's lucky that he got sprung. If anybody else gets caught, they can't.
Yeah, it's done.
As far as the DEA is concerned, or the Albuquerque police, or both of them, because they kind of like collaborated in the effort in episode 8 to catch Heisenberg. So as far as they're concerned, Heisenberg is behind bars. So
no, they know by now. There's no way that they still think that dude is Heisenberg by now. There's no way.
Well, they'd have to let dude out of prison then.
He's probably out of prison. There is no way. Once they actually did any sort of investigating,
then they'd have to go and get Badger, wouldn't they?
I think Badger would have plausible deniability. Badger doesn't know who Heisenberg is. He just knows that he works with a bald white dude. For all they know, Heisenberg is some shadow name for a dude who is sending bald white dudes to do his business for him.
Or several dudes.
Badger...
on some second Kira shit.
Yeah, Badger doesn't know. Like, Badger has plausible deniability, and I think Saul would have his back. I think Badger is in the clear at this point.
Yeah, he gave them someone.
Yeah.
Who copped to be in Heisenberg.
Yeah. As far as he knows, that's Heisenberg. As far as Badger can...
Yeah, as long as Badger doesn't talk to any police, he's good.
Yep. I don't think Badger should be in prison, but I do agree that they can't do that again. That shit's not going down like that again.
Yeah, no. He said he's on probation. He's like, nah, man.
Skinny Pete, you shouldn't even be a part of this, bro. You on probation?
Because even Saul says that, like, Badger is lucky that he's a first-time offender.
Or else it'd be bad.
Or else it'd be bad.
And I feel like the next time that Hank caught somebody with blue meth, they probably go about it completely differently.
Yeah.
That motherfucker's gonna have a wire and some more shit.
Yeah, don't let Walter try and pull up again.
Before Jesse ever even finds out that Skinny Pete got arrested, he'd have a wire on. Like, it'd be bad.
Damn. Yeah, them same hijinks would not happen a second time.
Because I'm saying, even from Skinny Pete's perspective, let's say Skinny Pete got arrested after Badger. Like, with the blue meth. Like, okay. It's bad. Like, they're going to throw the book at Badger if they can, unless he says something.
Yeah.
And at this point, fuck it. Like, how loyal is Skinny Pete really?
That's a good question. That's a good question, man. But yeah, like, so with Skinny Pete, I mean, they kind of use, like, those episodes after Jesse, like, you know, from breakage to this point, to kind of like one by one kind of
knock all of his friends out
the game. Skinny Pete, he gets robbed. Something happens with him, so that spooks him.
And he's on probation. I think Combo dying spooks him.
combo dying definitely spooks him. It makes him stop dealing drugs, but like I think that combo dying by itself, I think would have spooked him out the game.
Oh yeah,
But I also think that like especially with him having been robbed in their own territory, like it's like nah, like it's definitely a no-go. I'm not a part of this no more.
I agree.
And then Badger getting arrested. So Badger's out in California laying low. And then like, Combo's dead. It's just Jesse now. And he really doesn't have any of his homeboys around him to even protect him from this Jane situation. Like, because that's really the only people who could save him from Jane at this point.
I don't think they'd try to. I think they'd be happy for him. Jane's pretty.
Yeah, you're right. Neither of them are really.
Jane's fine, and she's the landlord and shit. Like that's kind of a come up. I don't think any of his friends would be like, "Hey, girl, this chick's a gold digger."
Not even.
And she's got you doing heroin now.
Yeah, that would be the part for me. It's like, you did what? Did you ever do that before? No. All right.
I don't understand how like those are two extreme opposite drugs, in my opinion. That's like you're asking for a heart attack or something bad to happen to you when combining like the most extreme upper and the most extreme downer that I can think of off the top of my head, at least.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus.
You really think this is gonna help him, Jane?
Yeah. What the hell?
Anyway, getting around to that. Later in the day, Jesse's chilling with Jane, and she reveals that she knows he's slinging dope, but he tells her she got to bounce from his crib. He says Combo's death is weighing heavy on him, and he needs to cope with some meth. She throws out the idea of a support group meetup, but Jesse, he shuts that down quick. No therapy, just drugs. Jane starts to dip, but at the last minute, she flips around and follows Jesse to the bedroom. The literal worst decision of her life.
Yeah, I think so. It's up there at least.
This is what starts the cascade that leads to her death, really.
I think the worst decision is trying to boss up on Walt.
Yeah, that was a bad idea.
She shouldn't have tried to boss up on Walt. I think she was okay.
That was the only way for her to get the money. And at that point, she was obsessed with the money.
Yeah, she should have just left.
You said it a million times. She should have just left the house.
Mm-hmm. And never come back.
But like at the same time, Jesse is, in a large way, he's partly responsible. I'll say that. I won't say he's mostly responsible or in a large way. I'll say Jesse is partly responsible for Jane's decision to not leave.
I can't even.
Like, if her leaving was a prerequisite, like was a necessary prerequisite for him to smoke, then he wouldn't have smoked when she stayed.
I don't think he cares. He's a drug addict. I don't think it would have mattered.
It doesn't even come into the realm of like,
I think he was like, all right, well, I told you to leave.
And you didn't. Bad.
I came into a whole nother room.
Yeah, that it could be that.
I think I put
the drug
maybe
addict.
I just dislike Jane that much, but I put more of it on her. She was told to leave.
Oh yeah, no, like
she's already in recovery in the steps and shit. I guess maybe it was just that tempting. We don't know how bad of a drug addict Jane was.
That's what I'm saying. I think maybe she was worse than Jesse. And
yeah,
Jesse is clearly, especially like proven in this scene, like he is an addict.
Yes.
He tells her to leave. She goes, we can go to a meeting, like, we can just get out of here.
That shit sounds stupid.
Yeah. No meetings. I need to smoke. Like, he doesn't even think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And in her defense, she does attempt to get through to him, to like present some alternatives to smoking, to like stay on the wagon. But it's like, it's hard to leave. It's hard to leave.
I guess.
I'm not saying she couldn't have left. She could have. But there's like, I'm in the camp that Jesse and Jane are toxic for each other.
I feel like it's very telling that she already knows he's a drug dealer.
And
it's like fucking with him anyway. Because like if she was serious about her recovery, you think the one person she'd want to stay clear away from would be a drug dealer.
Yo, but for real, I don't think that she... Alright, so she knows he's a drug dealer. She's only ever seen him use weed and smoke cigarettes, but he's a drug dealer. I think she probably just thinks he's a weed dealer. I think she thinks he's a weed man. Because
not with all the shit he's buying. She's smart enough.
In the next episode, Jesse is talking about how Walt owes him money and he won't give it to him. And she asks him how much he owes, and he says $500. And she's like, yeah, like, I'd be mad if somebody owed me $500 too. And he's like, nah, like
500,000. Oh, well, we gotta go rob this motherfucker.
Yeah, we gotta blackmail this man.
He's a drug dealer.
But he probably thinks about this moment a lot after she does die.
Oh yeah.
That's
why he goes to rehab.
I would say so. Yeah. Because she tries to get him to, and then he doesn't, and
all this shit happens.
And then she dies.
Yeah. I think that's totally why he goes to rehab. Jane is why he goes to rehab.
Jesse's hurting though.
Yeah, I never really thought about the fact that Combo and Jane happen in the same week. That would suck.
I think that he's so down about it because, like,
what do you think, like, is the time span? Because, like, man, think about how stressed and the shit that is on this man's mind between, all right, breakage, the porta potty scene and all that. That happens. And then he finds his apartment. Cool. And then he watches a dude hit his head crushed by an ATM. And then Combo dies. And then Jane dies. Like, what is it, like, just a really shitty month and a half for Jesse? It's like 5 weeks of just bullshit.
It's like 6 weeks.
Yeah, tops.
In 6 weeks, 7 weeks, he gets kidnapped by a drug lord, a drug kingpin.
Should have gone to the art exhibit, Jesse.
This season 2 is like, bro, this has to be the worst season for Jesse, man.
Worse than being in slavery? This is like, if when you really itemize everything that happens to him in season 2, it's amazing. It's amazing that Jesse picks up the phone to come work with Walt at Gus's place. When you really, like, make a list of all the shit that happens to this dude in 2 months?
Bro, it takes like 4 or 5 episodes to get him back in the game, though, right?
Still, that's not enough.
Yeah.
That's like a week.
That's not. In a show like this, it could be 5 weeks.
Bro, there is nothing. Like, that's such a traumatic span of time. There's nothing that Walter could... I would have picked up my phone and saw Walter calling me. Fuck this. Like, there's nothing Walter could have said. Walt hits up Los Polos Hermanos, a fast food chicken spot, for a meeting with Jesse and Saul's businessman. Jesse rolls in high, restless, and unfashionably late. And while they're posted up, some lame manager dude rolls through checking on Walt and Jesse. Walt dismisses him, all like, ain't nobody got time for these interruptions when you're in the big leagues, man. Jesse randomly gets on a high horse and dips out, but Walt keeps on waiting around. I don't disagree with Jesse. From Jesse's perspective, this looks like a waste of time. It looks like their time is being wasted.
Wait, Jesse has only been there for like 3 minutes. What do you mean?
Jesse's not in a good mood.
He's not in a good mood.
Jesse's not in a good mood and doesn't want to be there in the first place.
Then don't even come. Jesse's the one who ruins this.
I agree. But let's play devil's advocate for poor Jesse Pinkman real quick.
Okay.
With all the shit that he's going through already, he's gotten dragged to this meeting. He's late. I guess he expected the meeting to already have been started by the time he got there, right?
Whatever. You're trying to roll in and be the last or whatever. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We're playing devil's advocate. Okay.
He walks in. Walt is still sitting there with his stupid ass chicken meal. He hasn't been.
He hasn't touched it.
He hasn't been met by anybody. No one has talked to Walt this whole time. This is bullshit. I'm out of here. This is a waste of time.
Whatever. Do you think that he would have felt that way if he wasn't high?
No, I don't think he would have felt that way. I don't think any of this shit would have gone down the way it did if Combo hadn't been murdered.
The only reason Jesse is so, like, suddenly indignant is because, like,
Combo got
murdered.
Yeah.
But, like, people have been dying this whole time.
Nobody they care about. No one.
Yeah, and now he want to act like he's better than Walt?
I don't think that's the case. I think it's just, I don't know.
Because he's talking to Walt. Man, I wish I had, like...
He's high on meth. Let's just chalk it up.
He's high on meth.
Suspension of disbelief.
Bro, I don't know. Walt and Jesse are such piss poor communicators.
With each other?
With each other. You know, and Jesse tries to, like, reach out and talk to Walt when something happens to Jesse, when, like, Jesse is disturbed. But, like, when it comes to just getting down to business, Jesse is like way too emotional. He's way too like sporadic. He doesn't think about things in a business sense.
I think it's circumstantial for him. Jesse keeps getting put in circumstances where outside of the whole smoking meth thing, it's kind of hard to expect him to keep his composure, even if he wasn't high on meth.
Walt has told you that he's out and then called you later up like twice. And so I understand why he's like frustrated, maybe a little bit annoyed, but it's like he expects Walt to care when he's like, yeah, things have changed. We got a man killed. And it's like, how do you want Walt to react to that? Like,
Somehow,
these other people have died.
remorse.
These other people that Walt didn't know have died, and Walt didn't react. How do you expect him to suddenly react to this other guy who people have been dying, Jesse? That's Walt's state of mind. I'm not saying he's right. Walt's a douchebag, but like Walt's state of mind is people have already died. People have been dying, Jesse. I understand why this is different for you, but why do you expect this to be
it's
different,
not different
for me?
for Walt at all. Crazy 8 and combo.
Yeah.
It's like same shit.
Yeah. One of them worked for him and one of them didn't.
Right. Jesus.
So like, I'm out. I'm done. Like all of that. Like I understand your entire devil's advocate point for Jesse, and I understand he's high on meth. There's no like rationale but Jesse was better off staying at home.
Yeah, I agree. He ruined the meeting.
He's a really bad business partner.
Yeah.
He's probably a pretty good friend.
Gus was probably about to walk up when Jesse came in. Or no, Gus was like waiting for his partner to show up. He knew he was meeting with two people.
He knew he was meeting with two people because he doesn't walk up until Jesse gets there.
Yeah.
And I think that he sees like Jesse squirming like he does. And he walks up like this was him checking to see.
Yeah, he was taking their temperature.
Yeah, exactly. All right, this
Yeah.
dude looks high out of his mind. I'm gonna go and confirm my theory. And he was right.
All right, let me go make some chicken then.
Yeah.
Change this grease, I guess.
That's why they're wasting time.
This is one of those episodes where they should have parted ways. From beginning to end. We see reasons why they should have parted ways throughout this episode.
Mm-hmm. Because Walt doesn't need Jesse anymore. Not for anything business related.
Nope. He should just split that money with Jesse, and Jesse and Jane could have got Ghost.
But I feel like if he were to keep Jesse around as a part of his operation, right? The whole 50-50 split thing, that's got to be out the window. It's time to renegotiate. Things have changed.
What has changed?
We have distribution. Jesse was the distribution. That was the reason for their 50-50 split. Remember?
Yes.
I handle the production side.
Yeah.
I do the chemistry. You have the street smarts. You take care of the hustle. And because he doesn't need Jesse to take care of the hustle anymore, now they've got Gus for distribution, which is a way wider and larger distribution network than Jesse was ever capable of creating, clearly.
Yes.
Jesse's value in the business has depleted, has decreased dramatically.
Part of the stipulation, I don't know. I feel like Walt needs Gus more than Gus needs Walt. You know what I mean? Even with how great his product is.
Mm-hmm.
Unless, like, Gus had Salamancas or somebody else who were like, no, we need you to be producing blue meth. Unless Don Eldadio came to Gus and was like, nothing is as good as the blue meth, and you need to be selling blue meth. I can't think of another reason why Gus has to work with Walt.
Has to? No. But, like...
It could have been a prerequisite of their partnership that Walt cut ties. He never forces Walt to cut ties with Jesse.
That's what he should do. That's what he should. He should force Walt to cut ties with Jesse. That should be a stipulation. All right, you're in. Cut ties with Jesse. Do whatever you need to do. Cut ties with him. I'll put it in your contract. I don't know if they had to do contracts for like...
I don't think it would have mattered anyway.
It wouldn't have mattered. Walt would have kept Jesse around. So Jesse gets back home to find Jane all slumped in the bed after her relapse. Trying to get up out of there, Jesse says they should roll out to Santa Fe to the museum. Jane agrees, but makes sure to get a hit of that blue meth first. Now, that's not just any meth.
Ain't no way in hell that she stayed at Jesse's house and smoked blue meth all night and she can't get out of bed and she's too tired. She didn't sleep. Bullshit. She stayed up all night doing some of the strongest amphetamines known to man.
Bro, she was probably asleep when he left.
I'm saying sleep plus Jane equals unrealistic to me. At all. at all.
No, I don't think that she's high when she wakes up. I think you're right. I think that they did drugs all night, passed out. Jesse woke up late to come to this meeting, and when he gets back, she's still asleep.
You're missing a key component, though. They smoked meth all night.
Oh, sleeping.
Exactly. This is unrealistic. She wasn't asleep. She was like washing the dishes or something. She's vacuuming the carpet.
I don't know, man. Well, suspension of disbelief.
Yeah, I guess so.
She is passed out. Maybe she wakes up and bumps the meth because, like, as her coffee.
Yeah. Yes, that's exactly what.
And then, like, it's to me, it's not surprising that she fell off so hard when you think about the meth that she falls off with.
It seems like her drug of choice is heroin, though. I don't understand just jumping between hard drugs like that, but I'm not a drug addict, so I wouldn't know.
Right. Maybe there is no rhyme or reason to it. There's no strategy. It's
Yeah.
just drugs.
Yeah.
You want to be high. And I think that, clearly she has experience with meth, given that she has mixed it into heroin before.
Yeah, that couldn't have been a first time sort of thing.
Absolutely
right?
not.
I'd like to hope not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, Jesse tries heroin for the first time, mixing it with meth. That's stupid. But
yeah,
my point is, she doesn't relapse with just regular meth,
yeah,
like regular street meth. She relapses off this designer meth. And so for me, it's no surprise that she just like collapses. Like, she doesn't just fall off the wagon. She like falls off of it and then it runs her over.
right.
And shit. Like, it doubles back and tramples her again. Like, this isn't just regular, this is just some meth. Nah. Jessie has her smoke the purest
Super meth.
Yeah.
Which is another part of the suspension of disbelief thing. It's hard to believe that she ever fell asleep.
Super meth. This is the same meth that caused Tuco Salamanca to accidentally beat his homie to death.
Yeah.
And this is what she...
I like to think the scene, I think it is next season, when Skinny Pete and Badger come to Jesse's house and they're smoking meth and they're talking about a video game and they're just going and they won't stop. They're like jumping and shit.
Is this like later on?
Yeah, this is season 3. It's season 3. It's after she dies. He's all depressed in his trap house and he has his friends. It's the beginning of the party. It's how the party starts with just Badger and Pete.
All right. I forgot that detail.
At Beneke Fabricators, Skylar's front and center at Ted's birthday bash. She decides to grant Ted's birthday wish for a sultry Marilyn Monroe happy birthday Mr. President vibe. Things get spicy, and Ted, bold as ever, lays a kiss on her cheek. Easily the most reviled scene in this entire show. Not Hank getting shot in the face. Not a 16-year-old with cerebral palsy being force-fed tequila. No. This woman singing happy birthday to her boss is the grossest scene in this whole show.
It is gross, man.
It's hard to watch. Like, you see people complaining about it on all the fucking like Reddit subreddits and on Facebook. People complain about this scene so much, and it's like, come on, it's really not. It's not that bad. And then you have to watch it.
Yeah, you go to watch it, and it's like hard. Like it's actually hard to watch.
Yeah.
Like,
yes. And I'm trying to think of other scenes in this show that are hard to watch. And there's a couple. Season 2, episode 1's got a good one in the kitchen. That's kind of awkward to watch. Walter Jr. doing shots is hard to watch. It's cool at first. That very first one
yeah,
is
the
all
first
right.
shot is like...
After that, it gets weird immediately.
Yeah, before we...
Todd shoots a 13-year-old.
Yeah. I think it's worse when you know it's coming. Like my first time watching the Happy Birthday, Mr. President scene was like, it was cringe. It was cringe. But now...
I cringed as soon as I saw the birthday cake.
No, for you it was...
as soon as I realized that, she's wearing the black dress, isn't she?
when after the appointment, her doctor's appointment for the baby, and they're outside of the car, and Walt's like, "You only got an hour left of your shift. What's up?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's Ted's birthday party today. We're doing something for his birthday."
No.
We're like, oh, that scene. And it's like your stomach starts churning, man. Your chest gets tight. Like, oh man, I don't know. Yeah.
I think it is an inappropriate request as her boss.
Yes.
It's inappropriate that she's fulfilled the quest. I feel bad for every single extra, every single one of their coworkers. God,
yo, they're sucking this in though. They love this shit.
Ted's gonna make Skylar sing "Happy Birthday" again. Oh God,
they love this shit, man.
She quit over shit like this. This is why she stopped working for this company in the first place.
Presumably.
From what she tells Marie, I think that he like straight up like gets all grab ass or something. You never really
Marie doesn't believe her. Marie straight up doesn't believe
I don't
her.
think that she I think that she obscures the truth even with Marie, because I think Marie would make a bigger deal of it than Walt.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You have to obscure the truth with Marie.
Yeah.
But she doesn't believe her. She believes that something else happened, something more. I don't know what it could have been. But the fact that it was the fact that she was going back to this job, that's what made Marie kind of look at her like, you're going back to the job with the guy who like
tried to squeeze your boobs or whatever he did drunk at a party one time.
It was at a party and they were drunk. Yeah, what did he do? This had to have been after, because they're all like, yeah, do it again. These can't all be like, how long ago did that happen?
I don't think it was something that was like well known about either.
At least not like the incident itself.
Yeah.
But it seems like people knew that like her doing this had to have been in front of a group for him to be like, I want the birthday song. If that had happened in private.
I feel like it's even worse that it happened in public. Like he subjected his employees to this more than once. There'd be no way that I could have watched this one time without thinking, oh.
What, a married pregnant lady singing happy birthday?
Even before she was pregnant, think about her past being here. Oh, my boss is fucking his secretary.
Yeah.
It's very obvious.
Now it's clear.
Hey, you guys know Ted's fucking Skylar? Like, I'd watch this while I ate the cake, and like as soon as he blew up the can, Ted's fucking Skylar. Ted's definitely fucking Skylar. There's no way in hell he's not.
Yeah, she's super proud of herself after this.
Yeah.
Yeah, before we watched this, you asked me what I thought was a cringier scene between this scene and the tequila scene in the previous episode, where he's got Junior doing shots, has him do 3 shots. Back to back to back?
My house, my bottle. Yeah.
This has got to be the cringiest scene. Man, if we can't find a cringier scene for the rest of the show, I'm having a hard time even trying to think of one.
They're in this season.
There are some hard to watch scenes. And, you know, Walt standing there watching Jane die.
Oh, God. I forgot about that one. That's hard to watch, too.
That's a hard to watch scene.
That's pretty cringy. That's a very hard to watch scene.
Because the whole time you're like, Walt,
just push her over.
Do something like.
That's simple. Watching Walt try to bang Skylar in the kitchen. Walter Jr. doing shots. This scene, Jane dying. Ugh. Yeah.
Season 2's full of them. So cringe. But yeah, this one wins out for sure. Hate the scene.
Everybody does.
Walt hits up Saul, straight complaining about the businessman's no-show. Salt drops the truth. Dude was there, but now he's spooked. Not feeling the connect anymore. Walt ain't having it, demanding a second shot. Saul lays it straight. 1 shot is all you get with this dude. Walt ain't backing down and heads back to Pollos Hermanos anyway. Then it hits him. That lame-ass manager? He was their contact all along. The manager plays dumb, but Walt keeps pressing him. Dude's vibe goes icy and he calls out Walt, saying he ain't cautious. Walt, though, he vouches for Jesse, saying he's got control over him. What if Walt was like straight up wrong about this dude?
I think about it all the time. It's like, it was my reaction on first watch. And ever since the first time I've seen this show, I always sit and picture like, Gus isn't the chicken man. He's not. What if this isn't the dude and this is just a regular?
Why didn't you meet with me yesterday?
It's like, sir,
I sat here all day waiting for you.
I noticed that, sir. You can't loiter in here. Like, what if Gus was really just the owner of Los Polos Hermanos, the chicken man?
He would call the cops on Walt right now.
I think it's strange that it ever gets to this point. Walt sits in there all day without Gus ever
Calling somebody.
having him escorted out, even if it wasn't like Mike or Tyus or something.
Mm-hmm.
Just in your capacity as a businessman, have this creepy loiterer escorted out of your business.
But at the
You
same
can't come in
time,
here for Wi-Fi.
Gus isn't just about business. All right, so I have two kind of approaches to your query here, right?
All right.
The first one is from a business aspect. It has to do with like risk. Because when Walt says that Gus could take his product, sell it for double the amount as what he's selling right now, and people would still buy it, Gus knows that
That's true.
that's true.
He doesn't react like that's a ridiculous statement
Right.
at all.
He doesn't argue it. He's like, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I could. So there's like, you could double your money. You could double your money. The risk is you don't know this guy. You don't know nor trust his partner. And you really don't trust his value judgments either, just based on the fact that he's doing business with some drug dealer junkie or some junkie. So you've got to be able to like weigh your risk versus your reward. As far as Gus is concerned, you know that he cares about money. He doesn't come across as like money hungry in his characterization, but in order to do what he's doing, in order to be at the position that he's at, to start a chicken company that operates in several states that you personally have a hand in managing over a dozen of, from here to Nevada. That's what the chick says.
Tri-state area, probably.
Yeah. And then not just that. Not just that you're the GM and the owner over 12 chicken spots.
14.
You also 14. You also started like the largest
Meth distribution chain.
bulk meth distribution chain in the area.
I
You
think
gotta be ambitious. You gotta care about money.
I think details that we aren't aware of are at play too. Details at this time in the show. Because a big part of Gus's story arc is that
He wants revenge.
no, the fucking Salamancas, he owes them. Like, the Salamancas are pressuring Gus for a good chunk of it. Sending the youngest Salamanca with the sniper rifle and all that. Like, they are trying to bully him. That's got to be weighing in the back of his mind, even during this meeting.
That's a good point, too.
Yeah, they have to give us a reason why Gus is willing to work with Walt outside of the fact that this meth is just amazing. And that's got to be it.
Yeah, he has other motivations.
Yes.
He has other motivations. And that's the second part to my approach. The thing about him, like, being pressured by the Salamancas, that I forgot about. But it folds neatly into, like, he has other motivations.
Mm-hmm.
You know that he's trying to take out the cartel. He's trying to get revenge. And you also know that, you find out later, both of these things. But it's like, he's not just taking this risk unnecessarily. But I think that at this point, he wants to work with Walt. He wants to work with Walt, and he's trying to keep himself from working with Walt. That was the whole thing about him, making that initial assessment and saying no. Like, when you're being tempted, sometimes, it's easy to say no the first time, but that second time, man, especially when dude comes in person and he makes a very compelling argument.
Yeah.
He said no the first time in a way to where he didn't even have to hear Walt's argument.
Yeah.
And then Walt comes in here and tells him some stuff that he already knows. It's like, all right, I want that money.
Skylar pulls up on Ted like, hold up, homie, we need to talk. She's been finding some shady stuff in the financial books. Ted plays it cool like, it's all good, but Skylar ain't buying it. After some back and forth, Ted breaks it down. Tax fraud has been the game. Skylar dips back to her office. She ain't snitching, but she ain't riding dirty either.
She should have left. She should have quit. This should have been something this is a really good reason to quit this job.
So then why do you think that she doesn't?
I think that she's invested in this sort of like tension that she started with Ted. I think that's why. I think that she's excited about that. And the rational part of her brain is telling her to leave. Like after this scene, she bounces, right? And then there's this other like mini scene later where it shows her arriving back, right? She comes back. I don't know if that's a different day. I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
She arrives to work and Ted like watches her arrive. I wondered if that was her first time back. You know what I'm saying?
After they had that conversation? Oh, yeah, I do too. I think that's the case.
So I think that it started, like the scene opens up on Ted as the focal point. And I think that's because Ted doesn't know if she's coming back.
Mm-hmm.
So there's sort of like a air that maybe she quit and then changed her mind.
And decided to play Captain Save-A-Ted.
But she says that she's not going to be a part of it. The only way to not be a part of it is to not come back, bro. Because otherwise, because you're the financial person, you're the tax accountant. So when y'all get audited, not if.
Yeah, it's going to fall on you as well.
Yeah, that's going to fall. They're going to be like, there's no way she didn't, what she does is brilliant in order to like, but she also knows at this point that if they get audited and he doesn't come up with that money, then
she goes to prison too. And right now she doesn't know about Walt's stash. So quit the job, leave the job, man. Don't come back. What the heck are you going to do? Like what? You're not thinking, like you're not even. I think she is thinking. She's already formulating a plan on how she's going to save Ted and his company.
Word?
I think so. I don't think she would have come back otherwise. I think her choices were either leave and tell on Ted or stay and help Ted fix this.
You don't think that she could have left and not told on Ted?
No, I don't.
I can see that. I can see that because she does the same thing with Walt.
Wouldn't her even knowing that their funds are messed up, wouldn't that make her
an accessory?
Yeah.
Because she doesn't report it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but only if Ted tells on her. If they get audited and Ted is like, Skylar knew that I was doing this because Skylar didn't cook the books.
Yeah.
Skylar just learned that the books were being cooked. So she had no direct involvement with it. So if they were to get investigated and to open a criminal investigation on like grand fraud or whatever that would be, tax fraud.
Yeah.
There's no way for them to reasonably conclude that they would see that Skylar worked there between this point and this point. They might ask her.
They'd have to at least question her, but she could lie.
She could just
good
lie.
At that, yeah.
And I can't see Ted going out of his way to tell them that Skylar knew all about it.
Unless it would save his neck.
He would have to blame her for it in order to save his own neck. He'd have to put it all on her.
I don't know if I put that past him. I swear, I don't know if I put that past Ted.
Oh, shit. For real?
To blame it all on Skylar?
How would he do that if I guess she could have. No, yeah, if the records go all the way back like 2 years and she only has an employment record from the last like 4 weeks.
I don't know. But I know that I feel it in my heart that if Ted could blame Skylar,
he would. Dang.
For sure.
Dang. And the only reason that I'm not like pushing hard against that is because once she gets him out of it, he buys himself a convertible.
Yeah, he does some bullshit immediately. When they try to go, hey, Ted, we need that money back, he tries to dip and slips on an orange. Like,
no, he trips on the carpet.
Does he?
The carpet is like rolled up and paralyzes himself from the neck down.
Skylar catches a lot of hate, but you brought it up last week. She's in every single episode except for The Fly. She's more of a main character than Jesse.
Yeah. As far as her prominence in the show.
It's interesting that this is an episode where we can look and see that Walt and Jesse definitely should have either quit what they were doing or cut ties with who they were working with or something. Mm-hmm. And it's the same thing with Skylar, the other main character. Where
she should have.
it follows the exact same theme with her too.
Yeah, that's a parallel, and that's when I didn't notice. Yeah, both of them, Walter White and his wife, should have both either cut ties with who you're working with, and
Or
just
quit
move
what
on
they
to-
were doing.
or quit what you were doing.
Yeah. Same with Jesse. Either quit what you're doing or cut ties with who you're with.
Yeah, yeah. Like as far as the drugs.
As far as Jane and the drugs. Either quit what you're doing or cut ties with who you're with. Same with Skylar. Same
Neither
with Walt.
of them, neither of the three are strong enough to make that decision for themselves.
Nope. They all failed.
They all failed right here. Holy shit. And because of it, less so on Skylar's end, but because of it, like 150 people died.
Yeah, at least. You're right.
So check it. Jesse's posted up in his crib, chilling in his recliner. Skinny Pete hits him up with a voicemail breaking down Combo's funeral. Jane rolls in and introduces Jesse to that China White, passing him a set of 2 needles. She's on some mixology level shit, whipping up a meth and heroin speedball real quick. Jesse takes a hit, and boom, he's straight up taken over by a next level high.
Pete Petty.
What do you mean Pete's petty? Bro,
That whole voicemail was kind of petty, man.
whatever, man. Jesse should have been at the funeral.
Yeah, it was his fault.
Like, and that's probably why Jesse felt like he didn't want to be there. I could see Jesse being kind of like afraid to like look, Combo's loved ones in the eye.
face.
Yeah. Knowing that he was partly responsible for Combo's death. But at the same time, bro, man up. Man up. Go to the funeral. Like, I would be upset at my friend for missing the funeral.
Yeah, I dig it.
And
Especially
like,
if it was their fault that this happened.
Pete is upset. And then he doesn't even bother to make an appearance at the funeral.
Yeah.
No, Jesse, like, that's fucked up, man. Like, show up. Show up at least. You don't got to talk to nobody. You don't got to, like, but this is important. This is important to, like, Badger. This is important to Pete.
Even Badger showed up. He made a point to say, even Badger's here from Fresno. You could have, yeah, all right. That's a valid point.
Yeah. Jesse is an asshole for smoking meth instead of going to Combo's funeral. And then, Jane walks in with this. And it's like, this is the beginning of Jane starting to take control over Jesse's life, in a sense.
It's interesting, it only happens for 2 episodes. It's a quick little antagonist real quick.
Yeah, once she starts making threats, she's definitely an antagonist. She's also like a foil, in a sense. Like, that she's trying to wrestle control of Jesse from Walt. And she's doing it pretty effectively.
Yeah.
And this is the beginning of it. Getting him into her drug. And it's almost like, the way that I look at it, she's hijacking his emotional state. Because he's significantly weak-willed.
Yeah.
It's like he's dealing
To
with,
say the least.
he's dealing with mad like will debuffs right now. And she strolls in with this, like, she's not bringing heroin so that Jesse can try it to make him feel better about his friend. She's bringing heroin so that she can do some heroin, and she wants him to get into it with her.
I think so too.
It's like she's hijacking his reasons, his emotional state. She's using that to her advantage in order to do some heroin. And he's got some really good meth that she can mix it with.
It can't be the first time that she's done that either. Like
Absolutely
she's so
not.
smooth with it.
She's real smooth with it.
Like, damn.
She looks like she just did this yesterday. This is
Yeah.
muscle memory and shit. Yo, they actually had a guy on set consulting them. He was like an ex addict, I want to say.
For realism?
Yeah. And yeah, for realism. But the way that they portray it, she is so fucking ready for this.
Yeah. She's like psyched.
She's making the calls, like she's making the decisions.
It's like he needs somebody to. Jesse needs that.
By nature.
Yeah, I think so. I think Jesse, part of his personality, he prefers being the one who is told what to do. Told how things are going to be. when he's the one making the decisions.
This is, you know what? That's crazy. And that does kind of explain how he went how he fell so far after Combo's death, because probably the way that he sees it, he tried to be in charge. He tried to be the one who was calling the shots and making all the decisions. And he got his friend arrested, his other friend robbed, and his other friend killed. And he's probably like, fuck it. I'm not making no more decisions. Let somebody else drive, whatever. I'll let Jane drive. Okay, fine. I'll let you make all the decisions. All right.
I think another one is Hank, when he bursts in to set Walt's house on fire, and then Hank takes the reins, like, no, we're going to do this a different way.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Jesse is always letting someone else tell him how things are going to be.
But he was also, oh man, that season he was on edge already. Like, his emotional state was sporadic, and he was ready to do some really impulsive things, from setting Walt's house on fire to like he was about to shoot him in the face.
Shoulda.
Roll credits.
Yeah.
That's how it happens.
After class, Walt grabs his phone and peeps a single text. Polos. No time to waste, he jets to Los Polos Hermanos, and the manager is not even there. Manager? Nah, turns out my dude is the big boss, Gustavo. Walt's heading out when Gus's right-hand man stops him, dropping a fat offer of 1.2 mil for the rest of Walt's inventory. But there's a catch. He's got to make that drop at a local truck stop within the hour, or he's banned from the chicken joint for life.
No more chicken brother for Walter. Ever.
Damn.
That's what he says. Don't ever show your face here again. He didn't say we can't do business. He just said I can't have chicken here. I'm gonna need you to make your...
It's like, bro, you guys are a popular chicken chain. Like, this is a regional thing. I can't ever...
Could you imagine? Hey, Skylar. Hey, I called in an order to Pollos Hermanos. Can you pick that up on your way home?
I sure can't. I sure can't.
You're gonna have to send Junior or something. I can't go. I'm banned.
How awkward would that be? You walk back in to pick up your order that your wife ordered, and Gus is the one there looking at you, handing you your 10-piece.
Bro, it would go like when he went there to plant that tracker on dude's car, and there was somebody at the counter first, and Gus like slides in like, nah, I'm taking your order. I'm taking your order, homeboy. What could you possibly be here for?
I'm so sorry.
My wife called in to carry out. I couldn't bring myself to tell her I was
We got a
banned.
10-piece. 5 dark, 5 white, please.
Man, they'd get that order in and bag it, put the name on it, Walter White.
You couldn't go anywhere. You're in Arizona trying to get Los Polos Hermanos. Gus just happens to be there. Like, oh my goodness. Trying to take my family on vacation.
That's freaking funny. An hour though? Like, why do you think it's so urgent? Like, why do you think that he gives them this almost like damn near undoable?
Maybe to prove his reliability. Prove that you guys have control over your shit. Should this be that difficult? I mean, yeah, all right, it's an hour. But should it be that difficult? He said he had the product ready to go at a moment's notice.
He did say
He
that.
said those words to Gus.
He did say that.
Should it be that difficult to just go grab it and go meet me here?
Go to Jesse's house, grab the product, go to the...
Really, like,
and he does it within the order. Even
If Gus realized that Jesse had the product, that'd be a whole nother red flag for him. Like, never mind. You left a junkie with 38 pounds of meth?
Bro, I'm surprised that there's still 38 pounds there. He should have weighed that shit. Like,
I don't think Jesse smokes the blue meth.
you don't think that's... But, all right, so what meth were they doing?
I don't know. It's white, though.
Is it white?
Yeah. I don't think Jesse smokes the blue meth. I think Walt gave him shit about that enough in the first season. I don't think Jesse smokes the blue meth. He keeps his little side stash of chili pea.
You know, all right, I'll give you that. There's still probably just enough meth. He doesn't catch any bullshit for it, so clearly it's how much he said it was.
Walter would absolutely know. He'd find out soon. There's no way that Jesse would be able to get away with smoking any of the blue meth.
But like...
Walter's stressing out over ounces. They've got 40 pounds. Walter...
Yeah.
Jesse couldn't get away with smoking any of the blue meth.
Nah. Because if they make like $50 less than they were supposed to, he's grilling him about
Yeah,
it.
man.
There's no way. There's no way. I'm just going to smoke regular meth in order to not have to deal with this dude's attitude.
Yeah.
Walt does go. He goes straight to Jesse's. I don't know if that's the next scene, but let's just talk about it because his Jesse's reliability is brought into question by Gus, and when he makes this offer, like you said, Walt said that he had the product available at a moment's notice. You can go get it. He should have been able to do that. The reason it was so difficult is because his partner's a drug addict.
Yep. If Jesse wasn't a drug addict, it should have been a simple call.
Right. He calls him. He has to call him. I mean, I think that,
he calls him. We watch him call him. He goes to voicemail.
Oh,
and then the scene transitions to him bashing down his door.
But Jesse falling off.
Like
Jesse
that?
didn't have to handle Combo's death the way that he did.
That's fine. He didn't.
If he cared enough, do you think Walter could have kept him from going down the road he goes down in this episode?
No.
Why do you say that?
It was completely out of Walter's control.
This is completely out of Walter's control.
Jesse ever doing heroin?
If he would have handled Jesse more gently.
Nope. I think Jane being there at all. I feel like the way that Walter's reaction to Combo dying is very minuscule in the grand scheme of Jesse's feelings right now. Walter could have been heartbroken and Jesse still got one of his friends killed.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything Walter could have done to stop Jesse from doing heroin other than being there when Jane was
I was just going to say, he would have had to be there.
Yeah.
With Jesse, and then Jane walked in and it was like,
Jesse, you can't fuck with this bitch anymore.
Dang.
I think it just proves Gus right. If I was Walter, I'd have busted into his house and been like, Gus was absolutely right.
I can't trust him.
Yeah. Can't trust this dude. What is he doing? Heroin now? Nah, can't even fuck with him.
Yeah, it's time to cut ties.
But he should have just given him his $500,000 and let him go about his business.
Yeah, instead of holding it for ransom for his sobriety.
Yeah.
That's not how you're going to get somebody sober.
No, hell no. Even if Jesse wanted to get sober, that was not, no, hell no, bro. Give me my fucking money.
Hey, man, look, there's a $500,000 cash prize for getting
like,
sober.
bro, how am I even going to afford rehab before you give me my money?
Not even rehab. Like, all he has to do is...
He needs rehab
he
at this
clean
point.
piss one time.
You're right.
That's all.
You're
you can
right.
Pull that off.
Go find Jake real quick.
Yeah. Hey, Jake, pee in this cup.
I'll give you $100,000. I'll give you $50,000.
No, or I'm going to snitch on you that was your joint.
It wouldn't matter. Who's going to believe Jesse? That wouldn't matter. Who you going to tell his parents?
The same people who kicked him out of his house
a
few weeks ago?
Yeah.
Man, you're right. Oh, you're right. Oh, nobody's going to believe Jesse. Sometimes I feel really sorry for him.
I feel terrible for Jesse.
Sometimes
he brings very little of this on himself.
Very little?
I think so.
No.
He's a drug addict, and that is his one fault.
But that comes with a cascading amount of other faults.
I understand that, but there's more than one time
telling him to stop.
There's more than one time so far that he has stopped, and traumatic bullshit from outside forces has pushed him back in to smoking drugs or being a piece of shit again. So far, already. He tries when he moves back in with his parents. He's not smoking meth then. He's actually trying to be an up-on-the-up dude. I don't know if he's smoking meth before Combo dies.
The only thing that changes that is, no, he gets kicked out from the joint.
Mm-hmm. That wasn't his.
That wasn't his. He could have folded on his brother.
He wasn't going to. That's hard to blame him for not.
I don't know. My thing is like...
I think Jesse is a victim of circumstance a lot more in this show than some are willing to give him credit for. Even though some of those circumstances he brings upon himself.
Season 2, my main point always comes back to his parents. When his mom popped up at his house, woke him up, and told him, yo, you're out of here, but we still have all your stuff. You know, you can get all this back if you turn your life around. Why not put some effort into getting clean? Like it could have been a lot worse. They found a meth lab in his basement. Jane's dad would have called the
police immediately.
So
Jesse's dad would have. I still firmly believe it was his mother who found the meth lab. Jesse's dad would have called the police immediately. They would have been if it had been just Mr. Pinkman who walked into the basement and saw the meth lab. It's a wrap. He's calling the police right then and there. If Hank had met with Jesse's dad instead of Jesse's mom, credits. The show's over. They're all caught. Everybody's caught.
Walt hits Jesse's voicemail like, yo, I need that product right now. Meanwhile, Skylar's sitting at work and labor hits. Walt pulls up to Jesse's crib, pounding on the front door. No response. Skylar's blowing up Walt's phone while he's on Jesse's porch, but he's ghosting her calls. Walt goes full ninja to Jesse's back door, breaks in with a flower pot, and finds Jesse knocked out. He's all up in Jesse's face trying to squeeze out info on where he stashed the shit. Jesse, half conscious, leaks it. It's under the kitchen sink, and then he's out again. Walt's bagging up that crystal, ignoring more calls from Skylar. His phone buzzes with a text. Baby coming. Walt starts to smile, but reality hits. He's gonna miss his daughter's birth to make this meet with Gus. He slings that garbage bag over his shoulder and bolts out the door. And that's the ep.
I truly think that if he's fast enough, he could make both. In my damage control ass mind, my mind would immediately go to how can I do both? How can I make both of these things happen?
Well, there's one that you would have to do first.
Yeah, of course.
And he gets the call in the next episode. He gets the call that from Marie that his baby was born while he's unloading the product from his trunk. So there's not enough time. But that means that Skylar is in labor for like less than an hour?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a thing? Like, I might be ignorant when it comes to this topic.
She'd have had her water broke when she was sitting in her office, I guess. Like, that's the only way. All of my kids were induced just about, but like Donovan, that was one that it was like wing bang boom. Like, she went to the hospital and then Donovan was born, like shortly thereafter.
Okay, so it's not outside the realm of possibility.
No, it's absolutely not outside the realm of possibility that the baby was born so soon. But goddamn, it's just unlucky, I guess. Like I said, her water had to have like broken when she was sitting there. Like when you first see her going into labor.
Yeah,
she's going into labor. Like
it's happening.
Yes,
but
those aren't Braxton Hicks.
There are people who have like there are women who have like really long, like hours long. Yes. Sometimes
they're there for the rest of the
labors.
Day. Yeah, and it could have been like that too.
But it wasn't.
That would have been very favorable for Walt.
Yeah, and it wouldn't have been nearly as tense from a writing standpoint.
What if, knowing Walt, I wouldn't have had the foresight. I would have sped the whole way. But I would have sped the whole way to this drug meet with 40 pounds of meth in my trunk and not even considered the fact that I'm going fucking 90 right now with 40 pounds of meth. I got to get to the hospital to see the baby being born. Walt probably didn't do that.
No.
Walt probably drove the speed limit and was very personable. He probably, when he finally met with Gus's associates, whoever he was selling the meth to.
Nice to meet you.
He didn't act like there was a sense of urgency or he had to be anywhere else or anything like that. He probably could have still made it, but drove the speed limit because, goddamn, you can't get pulled over with 40 pounds of meth in your car.
Neither can you get pulled over with $1.2 million in cash in your car.
Yeah.
You have to drive a sensible speed.
Yeah.
You can't get pulled over.
It would have been hard for me to have that foresight.
Ugh.
Because you can't miss your baby being born.
Well, he does.
Especially if you can't provide the reason. You can't show up like, I'm sorry I missed the baby being born, but we've got $1 million now.
We're millionaires. We're millionaires. You can't do that, unfortunately.
That makes it better, in my opinion. In my eyes, don't be mad. I just showed up with $1 million.
Oh, all right. It's cool then.
It better be. We're rich now.
Right. But he can't do that. He can't just tell her that. So he's got to, traffic, man. Oh, just can't.
Always traffic.
That must be an accident. It's traffic. It's always traffic. It was traffic, I think season 1, where he goes to Skylar's appointment and tells her that Jesse sells her weed, like that whole thing. And he was late to that, and he says it was traffic. And then there was probably something else. Like
traffic's a good throwaway excuse.
Bro, if that's your excuse every time, just start leaving earlier. I'd be like, bro, we just had a doctor's meeting for me.
There was a train.
At the beginning of this episode. Skylar's like, look, this episode, we had a meeting and I told you to beat traffic. Because that was his excuse in the beginning of the episode.
There was a train.
It was big. It was a big-ass train.
There was a car accident.
It ran over a car. Someone died. And, man, I was just stuck in there. Just couldn't get out.
Maybe he's like surfing like the news, traffic news, and he's like, "Oh, great, there was
That's
an
the route I
accident on
took.
87.
Oh, I was backed up on 87.
Traffic. What are you gonna do?"
I was gonna search that though with that flip phone.
Oh,
Look at
yeah!
that shit.
Mind you, he was rocking a Nokia. I forgot this was 2008.
Yeah.
Damn.
Ain't no smartphones, bro. How you gonna look up traffic?
There are
reports?
smart-ish phones. I'm surprised. It's got to just because he's like a boomer or something. He could have a BlackBerry.
He could.
He doesn't have to be rocking
He'd
the
have to
Nokia
explain
brick.
to Skylar why he can afford a BlackBerry. I don't know. I guess back then, I can't remember how much Blackberries were, dog. Like,
We were children, so expensive to us.
yeah, we saw somebody walking around with a BlackBerry. It was like,
Damn, they must be a
"Aw,
drug dealer.
Yeah, you sell drugs. Maybe he didn't want that heat to be associated with that BlackBerry.
What if that's what it'd be, Hank? Hey, Walt, you got a BlackBerry? What are you, a drug dealer? Awkward.
You're under arrest. Just playing with you. Yeah, it's this is a good scene though. Like, it's really tense between the music, the stakes. It's like as soon as they introduce one set of stakes,
They give you some
which
more.
is they just pile them up because it's like, all right, you got to make this product drop. You only have an hour. Boom, we have a time limit. Now it's like, all right, he's got to get this done. There are stakes, and then Skylar's blowing up his phone. We know why, because she's pregnant. Oh shit! Like, how is he gonna make both? He gets to the house, Jesse's knocked out.
It's all external stakes.
Yeah. B-side Skylar shows up, hits him with the "I'm pregnant" or "I'm about to give birth. I'm in labor. Baby's coming." If there's any example in this show of someone who actively and regularly demonstrates how little control Walt has,
It's
it's
Skylar,
Skylar.
whether she means to or not.
Right.
I think looking back, Walt is the reason that I never really put into perspective all the shit that happens to Jesse, because Walt doesn't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And so it never really clicks for Walt, all the shit that Jesse goes through in such a short period of time.
Yeah.
Walt doesn't give a fuck. And because he's the POV character, we don't give a fuck by proxy.
Because, well, you don't realize that Walt doesn't really have to go through any serious fallout until the final season.
Yeah.
All this shit that Jesse's going through, Walt doesn't experience any of that. Okay, like Skylar almost finding out, or her finding out at all, or like,
Walt's never homeless.
yeah,
Walt never gets beat up by anybody except for Jesse.
yeah. The most he has to deal with is being kidnapped by Tuco.
No one ever, until season 4,
Season 4.
no one puts a gun to Walt's head.
The end of season 4.
No one ever puts a gun to Walt's head. It happens twice. This whole series.
Yeah.
Am I wrong? One of Gus's associates and Uncle Jack. In like the last episode. Does anybody else ever put a gun to Walter White's head and threaten him?
Ask the viewers. Maybe they know. Maybe somebody else can think of another time where Walt gets a gun to his head. I can Google it, but it's a lot more fun to get the answer from the comment section.
I agree.
So what'd you think of this episode?
This is a pivotal episode in the entire series.
Oh, yeah.
We lose Combo, we get Heroin, we get Gus, we get the cringiest scene in the entire series, and everyone's favorite scene in the entire series, just
Yep.
about.
Yeah, definitely one of the top 3, like in everybody's top 5 at least.
Yeah, everybody likes the Jesse floating scene.
Yeah.
And everybody hates the happy birthday scene.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's all around a very memorable episode.
Yeah, for real. This is a really strong run. This one and the next 2. Yeah. The end of this season is a very strong run.
We got one more episode or 2 more.
2 more.
There's 13 episodes this season?
Yep.
Okay.
I thought it was a really good episode too. Yeah, like you said, it's very pivotal. A lot of stuff happens that like changes this, like matters. Like this, it's building up to a great finale.
Mhm.
But for real, this episode or the next episode could also be the season finale easily, with how much is happening, with how much happens that they can pivot off of. With
The next episode especially.
yeah, for sure.
I'm glad not, though, because season 3 didn't need to start off.
No, no, but
You
they
already
definitely
know.
keep you watching. You get like 3 hits of like that good shit. But yeah, Had a good time watching it. Thank you guys for joining us talking about it. We definitely appreciate you. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the video. Check us out on other social medias like Facebook and TikTok.
Yes, sir.
We appreciate each and every one of you. Rest in peace, Wes.
All right, Night Riders, we've reached the end of another heart-pounding episode of Life, Death, and Dope Boys. Big shout out to Indy and Justin for breaking down the chaos. Yo, Jesse, keep your head up, my man. The road might get rougher before you catch a break, but trust, there's a light shining at the end of that dark tunnel. Hold on tight and keep pushing through. And Walt, be careful what you wish for. Sometimes it's better to stick to the rivers and the lakes that you're used to. Before you bounce, hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for more late night thrillers and keep the chatter alive on the streets. If you missed any of the action, be kind. Rewind. Stay smooth. Don't be shady. And until next time, keep riding with Life, Death, and Dope Boys. Rest in peace, Wes.